What's going on, my friends? BJ Mamba here. Welcome to BJ in a Movie. Tonight's movie, the 2022 Rob Zombie directed film, The Munsters. Seems like a kind of a controversial Rob Zombie film for the Rob Zombie fans. I am a Rob Zombie fan. Got a bunch of his stuff up here along with some Munsters DVDs. So I'm a Munsters fan as well. So I was definitely interested in Rob Zombie's Munsters, and especially knowing that Rob Zombie is a Munsters fan. The movie's streaming now on Netflix. It stars Jeff Daniel Phillips as Herman Munster, Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily Munster, and Daniel Roebuck as Grandpa. And the three of them together, seeing the trailers and the teasers, looked good. But were they good? The Munsters also holds a place in my heart because the highest viewed video on this channel is this Rob Zombie Munster parody I did a year ago when the movie was announced. And I'll leave that right there. So go on over, check that out. And also like and subscribe because it helps the channel. Okay. But Rob Zombie's The Munsters. I tell you, one positive, though, going into it was rated PG. I remember when it started, people didn't know if it was going to be some like R-rated hardcore monsters or the complete opposite, and he seemed to do the complete opposite. So as far as him getting out of his comfort zone, I'm all game for it. So I opened up Netflix, found The Munsters, and the first thing I noticed, which I kind of shook my head, it said 1 hour and 49 minutes. I said, God, Lord, this is going to be too long. I already knew going in that it was just going to be too long. And sure enough, I think it was. And the thing with Rob Zombie and what people are I can see why people don't like him and why people do like him. Like he's one of those filmmakers that it seems like you either love or hate. And with Rob Zombie's films, he always tends to do certain things with the movie right and other things not so right. So let's go through it real quick. I think the pros of Rob Zombie's films is visually looks great. The violence is always done really well. Always has a great soundtrack and score. And casting choice is always pretty interesting. He kind of pulls these people out of the woodworks almost. And so that's 5 big pros, I think, of Rob Zombie's. Now the cons, the over-the-top, white, trashy, vulgar dialogue is the big one. Lack of story sometimes. It seems to kind of become more and more his thing. And yeah, in the writing, I don't know if that lumps in, but the writing in general, I feel like those are his cons. Now this movie, you look at its cons right here, there's no violence, there's not really a soundtrack, the score is it's just like a cartoony score, it's nothing, the vibe and the tone and the score aren't really there, so those kind of pros are gone, but visually, it was great, and even watching this, even the first opening few scenes, I'm like, oh, this looks good, a lot of people thought this was $40 million budget, which became not true at all, so I don't know how that rumor started, because that was a big controversial thing, like, where'd all this money go, this looks so cheap, but he might have spent $1 million on this, I'm not sure. I know they shot a lot of it in Dubai, I believe, and I'm sure they're saving money doing that, but visually, why can't I say that, I thought the movie was spot on. Now go over to the cons. There is no white trash dialogue, so that's gone. There's no vulgarness, that's gone. So there's one con off the thing. But the dialogue, I know it's meant to be hokey because of what it is, but maybe it was just still, I don't know. It was, And then the story, kind of lack of story, that kind of fell in this problem too. It seemed like there was a thin storyline there. And then just kind of dragged on. That was the big thing. It dare I say Dragula? No. It dragged on, and that is the biggest con. So the positives that Rob Zombie has, like as I said, there wasn't like a soundtrack or score. There weren't a bunch of cameos. I was hoping there'd at least be a bunch of cameos or something, like Rob Zombie regulars, and he had his core regulars, but that was really it, man. There wasn't really any cameos or anything like that. So that was kind of my, some of my cons to it. As far as the acting goes, it seemed like everyone kind of did their own take, which was cool and probably the way to do it. Jeff Daniel Phillips as Herman was fine. He was kind of like doing something like this. It's like a Shaggy slash that's that old cartoon. I know they're the guy who kind of talks like this. That was maybe not that good, but he wasn't bad, and again looked good. Again, the effects were also good. I mean, another thing with Rob Zombie is the special effects. I think Wayne Toth, I believe the guy's name is, has worked with him since House of a Thousand Corpses. I'm pretty sure every single movie up until now. And so the monsters, the makeup, when they're in Transylvania, all like the Orlok, I think vampire guy, like that all looked good, you know, and I didn't really have a doubt that wouldn't look good. Daniel Roebuck as Grandpa was good. He's a good actor. Dude's been on a bunch of shit. Go way back to Fugitive was one of his early ones, like 19, you know. Great actor. He was good. Then we come to Sherry Moon, and that's the kind of the one that people are always juggling back and forth, whether she sucks, whether she's good, blah, 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 blah. I think she was kind of doing a character like this. And she stuck with that character, but the problem with doing, again, that probably wasn't a great impression, but the problem with doing that is... like her deliveries just seem kind of did not seem natural. You know, oh Herman, how can you go through my heart with such a, you know, like doing this very, I'm sure there's some sort of acting, you know, name for that. But she was doing that the whole time, which really isn't Lily Munster. And again, I know they're doing their own thing, and but again, like she wasn't like cringy because of what she had to do and like kind of how she was acting, but it just seemed so unnatural. It just didn't. I don't know, man. I don't know. Another pro though, I like the transitions were cool. I remember there was like an axe, there was like, you know, bat, you know, or whatever. Like there was cool transitions. I kind of dug those. I liked the set design looked cool. Transylvania looked really cool. I love like the plan, you know, like instead of live nude girls, live dead girls and stuff like that. The date with the vampire was semi funny. The opening with my God, Jorge, the one guy, Jorge, you know, the guy from Lost. Oh man, I'm sorry, buddy. Jorge, and Richard Brake played the scientist and his like assistant type, you know, and you know they build. I honestly the first like 30 minutes or so, I was digging. I was like, okay, like, you know, I laughed, like chuckled here and there. Nothing really came out like cringy, you know. I'm like, okay, like there was, I laughed a couple times, and I'm like, okay, like I'm getting into this. And then the second half of the movie is just when it really started dragging, man, and things like kind of like finding Spot, the lizard pet, dragon pet, like that could have been a quick little scene in a montage maybe. You know, they sing "I Got You, Babe," which, okay, I'm like, whatever, man. I don't even know if kids even know that song, because this is a kids movie. But that could have been that should have like montaged like everything. It should have been them like going to Paris, like getting that. But instead, like they have this scene with the mime, and then they find the dragon. It just takes up time. It takes up too much time for a family kids movie that should be snippy snappy. It was just kind of I don't know. Just scenes went on too long, and jokes went on too long, and I think that was really the biggest problem with this movie. And they don't even get to the house till the end, so I don't know if a sequel's planned. I kind of have a feeling if this movie does well that there is going to be a sequel, which, okay, because I guess the sequel, they would be at their house the whole time. They would probably give birth to Eddie Munster, and Marilyn Munster would show up, because they didn't like establish that at all. So I did, when it ended, I was like, shit, man, is there gonna be a sequel? Is he gonna do another damn sequel? Which, whatever. But then it comes to the ending again. Another like Rob Zombie type of ending, man. At least with his last few movies, they kind of just like ended. And this one did the same damn thing. So again, I mean, it wasn't as cringy as I was. I didn't really have any expectations, really. I didn't know. I just assumed like the jokes would be like 50-50. Like someone maybe be funny, someone would be like, and it seemed like that's what it was. Again, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't the greatest. I mean, again, I'm happy that he's out of his comfort zone. Did a PG movie, even though it's funny now. People said about like an R-rated, like hardcore monsters movie. And I feel like now people are backtracking and saying maybe we should have had that, and that would have been interesting. Would have been cliche for him to do. And I know he's a super fan, and that's awesome that you have a super fan making it. And there were, I'm sure, much more Easter eggs that I didn't pick up on that were in it. But could someone have done better? I mean, it's maybe, you know what I mean, probably. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this movie? Do you think your kids will like this movie? I think shave 20 minutes off, bring it down to an hour 29, and I think opinions would be a little bit different. But I really think that the lengthiness is what is going to hurt this movie. But again, it's still probably going to get a lot of views and make money, however Netflix works. It's on DVD and Blu-ray right now, which I may get at some point, probably, just because I have all his other movies. And yeah, I don't know. My gut's saying that if it does somewhat well, that there's going to be a sequel, which, again, you know, I would much rather Rob Zombie. Even when he did 3 from Hell, I was like, man, can't you do something? Just do something new. Like, I'd rather. And I feel like the same thing's going to happen with this. It's like, man, another Monsters movie. Like, just, you know, give us something fresh, man. Give us something fresh. Well, I think that wraps everything up. Thank you for having a BJ in a movie with me. It was pleasant. Comment below what you guys think. I want to know what the fans think about this movie, because I don't know what people are going to think. And I want to know what kids think, man. Like, I got to show my kids it, because I maybe kids will like it. Maybe kids will love it. And, you know, and then mission accomplished, because it is a PG family kids movie. But yeah, let's get on out of here. Thanks for watching again. Subscribe helps the channel. I hate asking it, but I know everyone else asks, so I guess I might as well peer pressure ask too. Definitely subscribe, it helps. I got some other Rob Zombie content, some here, a couple here if you guys want to check out. And again, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Cheers.